Hey, Steve DiMaggio here with Blue Diamond Media Consulting, and today I'm going to be going over this Breedlove Limited Brazilian Premier Companion Guitar. So the companion shape is Breedlove's smallest shape. Up from the companion you have the Concertina, then the Concert, then the Concerto. So late last year, Breedlove put out their first made-in-bend companion guitars. This is part of the Premier series with Breedlove, which is of course part of the made-in-bend collection. This particular guitar is limited to 25. So let's get into the actual build now. Starting here at the butt, we have a gold strap pin that also doubles as your input jack, going into a figured maple whale tail. And along this piece of figured maple right here, you'll also see that there's a black and white fiber strip that gives it a nice little border. Now that opens up into the Brazilian body. So this body is Brazilian rosewood. This is the traditional grade of Brazilian rosewood from Breedlove. If you don't know about Breedlove and the Brazilian rosewood story, Breedlove has the largest stock of legal Brazilian tone woods in the world. And I was just there. It's a huge room. It's amazing. So there's 3 levels to their Brazilian, and I know just enough to get me in trouble. Again, this is a traditional, so this is what you would have found on guitars in the 50s, 40s, things like that. Up from that, there is the church door, and then up from that in cost is the Milagro sets. But again, this is a traditional set. This is nice. It does have some sapwood going right down there. You have 2 little dots here. That's kind of like a cool little characteristic. But anyway, Brazilian rosewood is extremely clear and it's extremely punchy, and it pairs really well with this red cedar top. Now on this particular run of guitars, the red cedar top was dried for about 12 years at Breedlove, and they're super clear sounding, very punchy, and like all red cedar, it is a little bit lighter than spruce, so you'll get a little bit more resonance there. Along the sides here, you'll see it's double binded in figured maple, and you also have that black and white purfling on the side and on the top here that ties it all together. And we have a spalted maple rosette. I like the spalted maple. It does have a little bit more character to it, and since it's in such a small space, it makes sense to use that instead of the figured maple. The bridge on these guitars is Breedlove's pinless bridge, and there's a number of reasons why I prefer a pinless bridge over a pin bridge. One of the main reasons is you don't have to drill 6 holes into the top for pins, which also helps with resonance. And then lastly, you know, I'm more of an electric guitar player, and this just feels a little bit nicer on my hand. I get some more of those kind of palm muting styles down, so it's just more comfortable for me, the pinless bridge. Now I do want to talk about sound optimization real quick. So when Breedlove is making a made-in-bend guitar, one thing they do is sound optimization. And what that is after the expiration has been put onto the top of the guitar, they'll take it and they'll kind of hit it with this little rubber mallet, and it will actually measure the resonant frequency of the top. And what the technician will do from there is slowly chisel and sand away a little bit of the bracing until it gets to that desired frequency, so the top has its maximum resonance. I've actually done this myself on a top, and it's super cool. It's super fun to do. When you're tapping it and you're seeing it come up on the screen and you're shaving away, you can actually feel in your hand the top changing and evolving. Anyway, sound optimization really does open up the tops on these guitars, and like I was saying earlier in the video, this is one of the first sound optimized made-in-bend guitars, and it just sings. So up from there, the neck is Honduran mahogany, and then you have a maple heel cap here. There's your second gold strap pin, and this is a 23.5-inch scale, and the nut width is 1.68. This is an ebony fretboard, and you have the Premier interlocking diamonds. And moving up from there, you have 510 Godot tuners on there, and the pickup system in this is a LR Bags. I also want to talk a little bit about the general finishing on the guitar. Breedlove made-in-bend guitars are basically made by hand, start to finish. There's very few automated processes. Breedlove does have a couple machines for the necks and for the fretboards, but for the most part, these things are all finished by hand. There's people sanding these guitars down on literally, you know, wheels like this, and they're buffing them, they're spraying them. I watched Jade finish guitar in person, like right in front of me, and there's a lot of love that go into Breedlove guitars, and I think sometimes that's missed because they do have good production, and it might just be assumed that these guitars are made by machines, but there's real people making these guitars, and there's real people making real decisions about making these guitars. And like Tom Bedell, the owner of Breedlove, says, 100% of the guitar makes 100% of the sound. So how does this guitar sound? It's a very, very loud guitar for the size of it. It's a very clear sounding guitar. It's a very punchy sounding guitar. In general, I like rosewood on my sides and back, and I do like cedar tops, so this guitar fits me well. I love the fact that it's smaller. I have little kids running around the house. I have a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old. And if I'm in the backyard just thumbing on this thing and the dog's running around and something needs to be grabbed real quick, I can kind of just throw this down real quick into a stand. It's not like having a full size, you know, Dreadnought or Concerto or something like that. It's super maneuverable, and I love that about this. Now there's a couple national artists actually out playing these Brazilian companions on the road right now. And it's important to say that these guitars come with all the necessary paperwork to go on tour. So if you're going to another country with a Brazilian rosewood guitar, it's literally treated like African ivory. So you need to have all that paperwork, and Breedlove does supply that in a nice little folder. And that folder goes into this super nice case that comes with these guitars. It's a nice upgrade over from the normal made and bend case. It's just a very unique guitar, and it's very unique to Breedlove. Again, these things sound awesome. They're a nice upgrade from their Indian rosewood counterparts, which came out last year, which by their own right are incredible guitars. The Cedar Indian rosewood cutaway Premier that I have is insane. People at work ask me about it all the time. So I have a couple samples here from my home studio. Been trying out different mics, different preamps. Love this guitar. It can cut really well with 80/20 strings, phosphor bronze strings. It sounds super warm. So check this out.